Alright, so in the last video, my CSS didn't work. I had created a new CSS style sheet, and I started with my character set here in the first line, and then I have my first declaration here. Okay, so my element here is p tag, and then I have my curly brackets. Inside of it I have one declaration, and all I asked for was my font color to be blue, please, but it didn't work. And the reason is because I had saved my CSS in the wrong place. So the CSS style sheet should be inside of CSS folder. That's where it should be. So if I go to my contact, okay, so when I go to my contact, I have the link to CSS folder, and inside of it, style.css, and is there style.css in my CSS folder. So now let's go take a look at this. So save all, and I'm going to go to Packages, View in Browser, and you can see that the footer is blue, but not this here. And let's go take a look at the reason why. Okay. The reason is because I've told it the P to be blue. So what's in the P in the contact? Well, the list is not in the P, it's in a UL, right? It's in the list element. Okay, so the only thing that's in the P tag is in the footer. This is in the P tag. So therefore, this is what's blue. Okay? And you'll notice that any other page that is connected to this page, to the CSS style sheet, will also have their P in blue. Okay, so if I go to our team, you can see that it's red. But why is it red? It's because in the team, this style here is overriding anything that the CSS style sheet is telling it to be. So if I go in here and remove style attribute here, and save all, and it has the link to the CSS style sheet, now that page should be blue, right, in the P tag. How about home? Home, I believe, doesn't have the link, right? So home doesn't have the link. So if I remove this internal style sheet and then I add the link here to the CSS style sheet, then it should work. Okay, so here we go. So home, it's blue there. Menu, again, not blue here because all this is in a table tag instead of a P tag. Okay, so another thing that we can play with is the H1. So let's go to the style.css and tell H1 to be color green. Now I'm not doing anything beautiful or interesting, I'm just kind of doing very simple things just to show you how it works. But don't worry, we'll look at other properties and declarations that can make your site look good. We'll learn all the rules of good design. But right now I just want to focus on, how things actually work and making sure that they work. So if I go to H1 color green, I'm gonna save that. And I only have to save the style sheet, and then the changes will be reflected in every page that is connected to the style sheet. So that is the beauty of CSS. You only have to change it in one place, and then everything else that is calling that CSS will have those changes. All right. I have for you, I've posted here something called the CSS Cheat Sheet. Okay, so I'd like you to go download this and open it up. I have it in my downloads. So let's take a look at the cheat sheet. What it is just all the different declarations, properties that you can play with. So over here, you can play with the background. Well, let's not play around with the background yet other than the background color. Okay, so let's go take a look at background color here. And let's go change that. So maybe background color. Okay, and again, declaration, So the color, oh, sorry, background color is actually a property, okay? So you have to have an element for it. So I think I want the body. So the body is just basically the whole page, right? So if you remember, here we have body. Body is all of the content. So the body, okay, is going to have background. Oh, so when I start typing, I can see all the code hints. I can see all the properties show up, right? And could be, let's call it linen. I think that's a color. Okay, they have all fancy colors now, so let's save that and see if that shows up in the home. There we go. It's a little bit kind of off-white color there for you. Okay, and let's see what else is in our cheat sheet. We can also play around with, this has to do with borders. Okay, so with the borders, you can now play around with the borders if you want to style your table. And don't worry, we will be looking at each one more in depth right now for this class. I just want us to sort of explore what's out there. In the following classes, it will be more structured learning where we're going to learn about a specific area where we're going to apply styles to. But for right now, I just want you to kind of go around and explore and have fun. What I'm actually looking for is the font. There we go. So font, let's play around with fonts today. So let's go font style, or actually font size. So for the footer, let's make the font size small. Okay, so let's go in here. Usually the footer has a small font size, right? So footer, font size should be maybe 8 pixels, be small. And in later classes, we will learn more about font sizes and font families and everything and how they all work. But right now, I just want to show you what's possible in here. Okay, so let's go save that. And refresh. And here you can see that the font size has changed to be very, very small. All right. And let's see what else we can play with. You can also play with font weight. Okay, so font weight can be bold. So here is where if you want to bold something, instead of putting the B tag in the HTML or using you know, strong or emphasize around the text that you want to emphasize in the HTML, you can apply font weight bold to what you want to you know, make bolder. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to make so if you wanted to, let's see, if you wanted to make your footer bold, okay, which you probably won't, then you can go in here, font size, font weight, and you can tell it to be bold. Okay, and I'm gonna save the CSS style sheet, and you'll see that now. It's kind of hard to see, but it is bolded now. All right. So I would like you to kind of take a few minutes and take a look through the cheat sheet and see what you could try to play with. But don't worry, in the following videos to come, we will be exploring CSS in a much more structured way.